Hey, what's up, guys? So I was able to get the win yesterday, and that puts me the highest I've ever been at rank 54. So you see, it's still one above Ceci, the Blood 9. They're in range with me. Luma, who I'm going against. Zero, and some other name. Desir. Desir's right here. Updog. Wow, Updog is way up here. And I could possibly get matched with those guys. I think when you start getting this far down, it may not happen. So we'll go up a bit. And Juicy, Almost Deaf, OG Diamond Dave, moving back up. See Duder a lot. I don't know who he is though. Ceci and Nemesis. I'm a bit a ways away, but if I can get a win, maybe that can help. And so we'll see how this goes. So I'm much further in the middle of M3. I don't think that there's any real way to make it to Grandmasters at this point. And that's fine, because I'm not really shooting that for a goal. But hopefully this puts me in strong enough to stay in M3, at least this 2-1 in the top 100. But I definitely want to try to go into this last round here and try to get a win to solidify my position here. So this is what I'm running on defense. I changed things up a bit because there's some things going on with guys being able to beat Odin Illuminati. And I figured my opponent would know how to do that if he won, whether it was Zero who won, because I know he knows how to do it, or Luma, who beat Zero. And I went against him before, so I know he can do it. And so I decided to try Orchis in 1 with Black Knight. I was just going to throw Mysterio in. I said, well, you know what? I got Black Knight sitting on the bench after looking my teams over. And that was just 10 or 15 minutes ago. So I threw him in there. I have no idea how this is going to work, but we're giving it a shot. Room 2 still can trip up people. So my opponent yesterday had a 3.7 mil new warriors and failed. He kept it and he followed up with Secret Defenders, so he cleared it. But it does appear that in room 2, this can be tricky for new warriors. So I'm going to run it again. Of course, BiForst in 3 because that's the best I don't use anywhere else team. And so SPS is the main counter I use in 3, and then Alpha Flight being there for break this in case of emergency. After going against Superior 6 yesterday, and it was a very close battle for me, and then helping Johnny, who had a slightly bigger punch up. I think he was about 400K, or maybe a little bit bigger, and mine was maybe 300K. His Superior 6 is not as built as mine, and so we tried it twice, and we couldn't beat it. In the final attempt, we probably should have tried the second time with Doom. So that's a possibility if you see this on defense. But right at the moment, I think if you have Illuminati on defense, then you're going to have to use Superior 6 with Mysterio, with a Doom, or however you're going to put it together. But it kind of makes sure you use your Superior 6 there. And so my opponent had Astral in, and he had Emma. But after some careful thought, I decided to run this version without Emma. I know Emma gives the barrier, but it's like, would that be enough to really help against a one-shot? And I don't know. And so what Srange does is kind of important. So you don't want to drop him even though he's healing, and he's the tankiest out of all of them because he's giving them some health here and there. And so the rest are pretty obvious. I think Moondragon gives them some evades and some other things. So, and as well as her being super tanky, I think that's a good choice. And so I'm still running room 6. My opponent tripped up on it yesterday, so that helped. And we'll see how this combination of my defenses makes for room 6 is a harder room or not. So this is what my opponent is running on defense. I've gone against this extreme, well, basically X-Men team in room 1 before, so it's kind of tricky. So you have to go in really prepared. And of course, I have Superior 6 on defense, so I've got to look at my top counters for this room. And I've gone against the Annihilators with Srange, but not Skrull and Srange. So we'll see how that goes, but I think it's still MErcs and Apoc. He's running BiForst, so we're both going to probably do Superior 6 on 3. And so room 4 becomes a question mark because we're going to skip over to room 6. And I have Odin on offense, so my first thought is Odin with the Night Stalkers for the one shot. I think that can work. And then I'm going to single sack, perhaps single sack room 5. I got to look at it again to see if I need to single sack it or if I just try to go in and beat it with the Illuminati, because I think I did beat it before, full Illuminati against Black Knight Illuminati. So I'm going to look at doing that. And then most likely I'm going to have to do New Warriors on this 4. Now the Nimrod could be a problem because he's super big. Sentinel is too, and they get the speed, but they still won't be faster than New Warriors. And because mostly, unless I come up with something a little bit better for room 1, I think I got a Cabal room 1. But I'll give it some thought and we'll see how this goes. So I figured Night Stalkers can beat Astral. And by being in room 6, I figure it's going to be a little dicey, but maybe it'll be dicey in another room anyway. So I decided to go in with the 4-piece and not risk it with the Ares and, of course, Odin. And so it starts off looking pretty good because I was actually putting some damage in on the Astral team. So I like to go for the Ancient one, as I think she is really the most dangerous. But it could really be that Shadow King is the most dangerous because when he hits even harder than she does. And as we know, he's not nearly as built as she is at this stage of the game. So, but at any rate, the Night Stalkers go really fast, so they're putting in some damage. I'm very hopeful that I can get through all this barrier and hit and kill the Ancient one, but I wasn't able to. And then when I took Shadow King's hit, I said, oh, wow, gotta really go after Shadow King. So I would suggest going after Shadow King as much as possible. I only stayed with the Astral one because I had her so low. I knew she couldn't heal. And it was like, well, maybe I can kill her because I don't want her to take a turn after he's taking a turn. So that was the goal there. I did kill her. And then so I was saved right here because Odin gets his special. But at the end of the day, it was really a tough battle. And so you'll see how the Astral team is very durable. I was wondering during the little trial that they had why they were showing them taking such a beating. But clearly it's a good team to have with Mephisto right now. Obviously when Emma gets fixed, she'll be the pick to put in there. We just pull Srange. And even now, I think just her giving them the barrier makes them pretty tough. So it's a coin toss on whether you want to use Srange or you want to use Emma. But I think the other 3 you definitely want to keep. And so once again, you see the Shadow King puts in a huge amount of damage. He has to be the primary target. You got to get him out as soon as possible just for efficiency's sake. I was able to pull this off, but perhaps my efficiency would have been better had I targeted the Shadow King. And so here, I decided to go in with Cabal. I wanted to use Kang, actually the Masters of Evil, in Ares on that X-Men team. So I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and try Zemo. The Scientist Supreme does not have healer, so I figured it could work. Oddly enough, Cable gives them just enough speed. I didn't think he was going to make a difference. He gives them just enough speed to really go first and just, you can see my Namor's wiped out. Leader's almost dead, but it won't be long before Leader is dead. And even though Kang went, it's not enough because, and I wanted to get the Cable out of there, but I forgot his passive still works even when he's dead. So Orchis is still going. And I'm glad I took an Ultimus because you see how tanky he is. He's surviving. But all I can do here is just try to kill the bot. I was hoping I could shift to another one, but I couldn't. And, you know, Zemo's not going to do anything, so he's going to die. I'm like, well, at least if I can get Iron Patriot in, then maybe I have a chance with a cleanup. That was my thought. So Iron Patriot comes in. He does a huge amount of damage. I'm very thankful for that I built him up. He is the strongest member as far as his power, his overall number power on Cabal, so that was helpful. Now I'm just down to Ultimates. I figured, well, I'll kill this bot, But I said, nope, let's block Scientist Supreme because I don't want to bring anybody back. And he did so much damage, she's almost dead. So I said, well, let's go again. And now with an assist from the bot, she is dead. I said, well, I could kill the bot, but no, let's just go. And you see there that the mind control again, the bot was killed. Now that's the sheer power of Ultimates to just solo this node. Totally amazing me. And so now I'm going in with Kang, Masters of Evil, and Ares. And Ares is simply to take the safeguard from the Gambit and the Rogue. Now, if he can get any damage, that'd be great. And obviously, they got Bishop in the right place, so if Bishop dies, Forge is going to speed them up. I wasn't sure how to play this. So I'm like, okay, we're going over here. We're going to smack the middle of those three on the right. And perhaps if I can do this in a good way, I can get back over to Forge before time is up. Now, obviously, this is the moves you're going to make. On Rogue, you're going to stun her. This is a big Rogue. She's a strong Rogue. And my Absorb Man was blocked, so all I could do was his basics, so that hurt a lot. But at the end of the day, I was able to chip down Rogue. Now, the thing is, right here, I probably should have used Ares basic. I went in with the ult. I said, well, let's just try it. Maybe this Bishop is strong enough to take it. He was not. You see, flies out of there. And so that's when Forge takes off. Now, had I not done that, I probably would have got a better efficiency because you see here, once Forge goes, this is a reminder, you don't want Forge to go. Even if he's not reviving, he speeds them up so much. You see how many turns he's taking. You see how much faster, well, you will see how much faster Gambit and Cyclops are. So that's a huge mistake. I thought I was okay until my team members started to die off, and I said, okay, this is going to be really close. And the only thing I can think of is, well, this will be a new Warriors cleanup, especially after that ult from Cyclops. That's a reminder of what he can do while we were all going out so hard to get all those diamonds on him. But Kang survives, so he kills those two. Now it's down to Forge. I say, well, I got a chance. It's going to come down to Kang. I was hoping Absorber Man could live and at least divert the attention from Forge to him. But at the end of the day, this Forge is really strong, so he's not easy to kill, and it takes a minute. But I do get him down, and so had I played it differently, surely this efficiency would have been much better. Now, what I'm seeing here is that I've got to find a better way to beat the BiForst. And so I was told, like, go after Sylvie. So I went after Sylvie last couple times, and we're not killing her, so it's not making a difference. She's still going. And maybe it's not the special that I should do. Maybe I should do the special and not the ult. I'm not really sure. So my thought is I just have to play it out, try to get the best efficiency I can. And it's really making for low efficiency using Spider Society. So spoiler alert, my opponent uses a full Alpha Flight and gets an 8372. Now, I'm switching to that when I see BiForst. I would suggest all of you switch to that when you see BiForst. I would not put Spider Society on defense for the hope that it's going to be BiForst next week. It probably will be in most cases, but you want to be safe and have both teams on offense. And so when you get a chance to look at the replays, look how much smoother, how fast and efficient the full old school Wolverine and the Alpha Flight is taking out BiForst. It is a much better counter. So I was a little reluctant because I see a gore here, and I had to think about it. I said, well, Desir used this. I had a dorm, of course, but he used this placement and that the placement is he put Wolverine in between the two tanks. And I said, well, I can leave it like this. And I did get my old man Logan hit by Gore. Now, maybe I misplayed. I can't remember what I did. And so I said, well, I'm just going to put him right here because obviously this can work. Let me just practice it and see what happens, because I figured I lost because of efficiency. So I go in. It goes as according to plan. Docking goes first, and you need him in there because of that right there, because he chains all the way over. That's a beautiful thing when that happens. And so now I'm able to go over to the Gore and stun him. That's huge. So you want your docking away, as far away from the Zuggs as possible, and then your old man Logan can start taking over. Now, I hadn't gone against a Strange version in a while, so I said, well, what do you do here? I said, well, maybe what I'll do is I'm going to go after Strange, because I'm a little worried that Strange could bring back anybody I kill, because it takes a lot of time to kill Annihilators, and by that time, he might be at his ult. So I said, I'm going to target the Skrull. Maybe that was a good move, maybe that wasn't. And I'm going to go ahead and Falcon Punch the Strange, just to be safe. I said, if nothing else at this point, old man Logan should be able to take care of this. And so I'm thinking Apoc is in good enough shape to help out. At least maybe a special, put a block on somebody. I still have Docking and Panda Pool, so I said, okay, I'm okay. But right there, that passive from Thanos just wiped out my Panda Pool, because it is only a lesser chance because there's no Deadpool. And Docking only gets one revive. So I'm down to old man Logan. So I said, the main threat now is Gore. You got to get him out of there, because he can take away the revives from old Logan. As long as I have the revives, I have a chance. It's going to be really hard for them to kill him. If they do, then I have to try to find a way to clean it up. But at any rate, they didn't. So I'm like, well, Skrull is the next target. He's going to cause a lot of damage. And between these two left, I know old man Logan can take him out. So at this point, it's just like, well, just take him out. And it's a one-shot. And the efficiency is going to be terrible. But so was my Odin room, where I used Odin on his Mephisto. And so now it's just like, well, at least you got the one-shots there. And so here I said, I'm going to play it safe, because I've tried this Illuminati against Black Knight Illuminati. And in room 1, it worked. But I tried it in a room 5, and it did not work. And so since then, the times that I did have Illuminati on offense from before, it's like, I'm going to sack this and then just go back in. It's not super efficient, but it is much safer. So we get the sack. The main thing is just let it play out. Maybe you can pull that Black Knight special right there, and then you'll be in good shape. And so going in now, I have Illuminati. I'm just making sure I got the new 3 in the front, the old 2 in the back. I like to have Black Bolt behind Captain Britain, and I'm checking for ISOs. Maybe in this battle, you want Hank as a healer. I'm not sure, but Stryker still seems to work very well on him when it comes to these battles. And so, as you see it play out, I have to stay on Black Knight. He's got his taunt up a long time, and this is a 3-diamond G19, so he's really big. So it's like, well, let's just play it safe. We want a special to make sure we have all the defensive buffs that we can get on the team, so we can just last out the attacks. Because you got to remember, the Illuminati is on their round 2 of hits, so that's the stronger set of hits, and I'm on the first round of hits. Now, I don't think it really matters, because what happens is, I don't think Illuminati runs out of gas, but clearly when I'm on my second round of hits, they don't stand a chance. So it's like, we'll just survive it. You can see my team is surviving it very well. Both of our teams are built pretty equally. Now, when it comes to a punch-up, I would definitely sack it first, and just be very mindful that the healer on Hank could play a part. And you see how he got stunned, so you might want him in the opposite corner so that perhaps he doesn't get stunned. And maybe you want to put the Reed Richards in the middle. And so that way there's a chance that your Hank doesn't get stunned, so you can do the active healing if your Captain Britain is a little bit smaller. So, and it's not about the damage, it's a long fight. And so the healer is just to make sure that your team stays healed up and you do not lose your Captain Britain. But as you can see here, it was like, since Shuri's stunned, let's just go after Captain Britain. And I was going to go for Captain Britain and kill him first, but Shuri snaps out of it. So I said, well, let's just switch targets. We get the Shuri out of here. That will cut down on the assists, and then I'll have a much easier go of killing this Captain Britain. Now, I thought about going after the Hank, but I said, well, at this point, it is all about Captain Britain, and I don't want him to heal up. I've got plenty of time, but, you know, we don't want to take this down to the wire. And so the thing I keep in mind is once the clock gets to about 2.5 minutes, you're getting under what would be an average score. And even though I sacked it, you still want to have some decent efficiency because it could come down to efficiency. And I have a very good opponent. I've gone against him before, and he is extremely efficient with Odin on offense, Illuminati on offense, or actually Illuminati on defense, Odin on offense, and making sure that he can finish efficiently and not dropping any rooms, full clearing.